What's up, everyone, and welcome to another Bitcoin market update. In these videos, you will learn how to use technical analysis to forecast price movements in your favorite cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and others, and also see where we are looking to buy and sell these crypto assets ourselves. So one thing I wanted to highlight before we jump into Bitcoin's price action here is our beginner technical analysis course that you can get on Leutheria.com. This is a course that we created for people that are breaking into the crypto economy and want to lay down that foundation of understanding how to analyze price action, so that they can make informed decisions on how to buy and sell effectively to generate consistent profits trading these different crypto assets. So we go through a ton of different things, and you'll learn everything from candlesticks to volume to trends to support and resistance to a ton of other stuff. So it's definitely worth taking a look at that. We are still running our 20% off special. That you can get 20% off of that course by using the link in the description below. So check that out if you're just getting started in the crypto economy and you're looking at trading and generating consistent income trading these assets. So let's get into it here with Bitcoin on the monthly time frame. So pretty much so far we have this pretty bearish candlestick here ever since the open of this 3-month time frame. You see we've traded down since the open almost immediately, which is not surprising given the bearishness of this candlestick and the increasing bear volume. We likely will go below the wick of this monthly candle at 28,796 over the next 3 months. Monthly time frame. Since this monthly candle has opened, we've traded down a little bit, but the question here is, are we going to have that bounce? Since we just said in the 3-month time frame, it's likely we're going to go down and break the low that we just made in June. Are we going to do that this month, or are we going to have a bounce before that? I would argue, based on if we were just looking at the monthly time frame alone, it looks like we're going to have a bounce before that point. And the reason I think that is because of these wicks on these candles and the declining bear volume here. So this candlestick, isn't the most bullish candlestick you've ever seen, but it is a pretty good, it does have rather a pretty long lower wick here of people buying the dip. So it is pretty encouraging for the bulls to see this declining bear volume. As June went through and we broke below this low, we saw less sell volume than we did on the initial drawdown from the all-time high. So we will see what happens there, but the main resistance level, if we do come up, is going to be this $46,000, about 46.3 level right there. Weekly time frame, we have not seen almost any follow through from the bulls on this bullish divergence that we got confirmed last week with a higher low in the RSI, but a lower low in price. Right here, we broke below this low here with the green check mark, as well as this one. We grabbed the stop losses below both of those points, and now we traded up a bit from there, but we have not had very much follow through from the bulls. So what might have happened there was the people that were taking this trade went long right on the bottom of this wick of this candle, and then they took the trade right up to the top of this weekly high right here. So they got a nice 22% trade there roughly. So that was a pretty nice trade for them. On spot, 22% is, if you're taking it on leverage, it's that's amazing. So that might have been what we just saw here, and now we may just go down from this point and break through this light blue zone. Now remember, this light blue zone is our support zone, and we've already tested this 2 times now. So if we test this again, if this weekly candle closes above this low and then next week we open and we go below, we'll likely close below this light blue zone. And then if we close the next week, if we get 2 candle closes below this light blue zone, this turns into a resistance zone that will potentially push the price down to potentially this, either the weekly pivot level here, which is at around 20,675, or the light blue zone here, which is right around 19,500. All right. If we go to the the 2-day time frame, we can talk about this trade that has played out very, very nicely here so far, and that was this gray zone here that we've been talking about for several days now. This trade has panned out absolutely perfectly here with a nice 8.77% profit if you went short on the wick of the candle. And this is 8.77 on spot. So like I said, if you're taking this on margin, even on 2x leverage, that's 17%, more than 17% gain on one trade. So that's really nice. So congrats to people, the bears in this scenario. If people are taking a look at, a level like that, obviously everything on this channel is for educational purposes only, is not intended as financial advice. So do your own research and definitely do your due diligence on different moves in price. But that was the zone that I was personally looking at, and you can see that that played out very nicely. If we come up when we retest this zone again, we might reject off of it a second time. It's weaker, but since it's a 2-day level, typically these take a while to break through. So it could test it again and still reject off of it. If we look at an example of that, actually, if we go to the 2-day time frame, and we go up here, here's a resistance zone right here. So we had our bull trend, then we broke through the zone. So when we retested it right here, boom, we rejected. Retested a second time here, boom, rejected. Retested a third time even, and rejected. So this was 3 times we went into this 2-day level. That's exactly the same type of level as this, and we rejected off of it. So that's noteworthy. So let's look at the daily time frame now. So if we look at the daily time frame, right now we're trying to form a higher low above this low that we set down here at 30,100 roughly. I said that it's likely because of the magnitude of this move that we will end up setting a higher low, but then it becomes a matter of, do we set a lower high and then lower low and go into a bear trend, or do we come up and do a higher high? So to get some clarity on that, we're going to have to look at what are our main resistance levels on the way up and what would be our support levels to push us past these points. This candle right here is our main resistance zone on the 1-day time frame. You can see we went into this here, rejected off of it, went into it a second time and rejected off of it. So it's getting weaker with each test, but like I said, that gray level is still right there, and so that's still very significant. You can also see we have this daily pivot level right here, which is up at about 35,000. So this is going to act as resistance for us as well. And so we'll see what we end up getting here, but if we do come up, this is at about 35,000. Let's go to the lower time frames and see where that is at. So 35,000 is inside of this 12-hour resistance level that we got right here. I think we talked about this in yesterday's video, but I'm not sure. This is when we had a bull trend right here. We had 2 candle closes above, and then we pushed through it, and then we, obviously this is a resistance zone then once you retest it. We retest it right here, got a rejection, and now we'll see if we come retest it again. You can see the hourly pivot level here is supporting price for the time being, and we had declining bear volume going into this 12-hour candlestick that we're currently on right now. So this is really the main level that I'm keeping an eye on, is this 12-hour level. If we get a close above the 12-hour level, then it increases, 2 candle closes, I should say, above the 12-hour level. It very much increases our probability that we'll get 2 daily candle closes above this key high, which is what we'll need to confirm a daily bull trend and change the trend back to the bull's favor. If we look at this from a 4-hour perspective, we have a lot of indecision happening down here. You can see, it's pretty much every candlestick is flip-flopping back and forth from buying and selling. The bears and the bulls cannot agree on what is supposed to be happening here. And so the price is chopping around. So there's really nothing to really decipher from that. In terms of resistance, our main resistance zone right now is inside of this gray zone, the 12-hour level. It's this candlestick right here. Otherwise, you could go to the even more recent resistance level, which is right here. And this one we haven't even tested yet. So this level is making me think that it's potentially more likely that we're going to get a rejection and a lower low and a confirmed bear trend on the daily time frame versus getting a bull trend. And the reason for that is because there's a lot of confluence for us continuing lower. I mean, just thinking in terms of the market cycle, in terms of the overall trends that we're seeing. I mean, like the Ichimoku cloud on these higher time frames, like the 1 day, if we look at this, Ichimoku cloud, like I said, still in the most bearish position here. Super guppy, still in the most bearish position. We've only tested this twice now, the red EMAs, and they're still going to continue to suppress price. So if we come up again, to me it just seems like this is just another short opportunity. So we're really going to need to, to really push through things like these longer time frame EMAs. You really need to have some established bull trend. So the bulls are really going to need to, like I said, form a higher low here and then come up and form a higher low with a higher high with 2 candle closes above this high from June 29th. If they don't do that, then they really don't have any chance to reverse this trend, and the price will just continue to fall because these EMAs, you can see they're sliding downward. So every, like as they go, it just suppresses price, and you just have the momentum pushing it down. In the Ichimoku cloud, same thing. And then these resistance levels, like the 2-day level is clearly still very strong here with the rejection. So if we come up again, this pivot level at 35K, another potential area to go short that I think people will take because of the fact that you have the confluence of this gray zone, which we've only tested once, and then also the 4-hour level here, which we haven't even tested once. So that's what I'm currently seeing on Bitcoin. Bears still very much in control. We're keeping an eye, on the different trends for these different time frames, and we'll see what we end up getting in the coming days and weeks. If you like this video, give it a like down below and subscribe for future educational content around cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. And if you haven't already, check out our Leutheria Telegram channel. This is where you can get all of the information related to the crypto economy and collaborate with people from around the world on different concepts related to cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. You can get your questions answered, and it's just a fun time in general. So check it out. It's free to join. And until tomorrow, onward and upward.